In this video, I'm going to be talking about the masculine in one of my clients that was actually confused about his sexuality because of the way that he was raised and what seems to be such a huge issue with the masculine and suppression of emotions. So today we're going to unravel about what happened with this specific client to where he could get real clear about his masculinity. My name is Marsha Mahaffey. I am a holistic reprogramming subconscious mind specialist. All right, let's dive in. So what happened was that, and what happens with most men is that they have been taught to suppress their emotions. They've been taught that they have to be tough. They're not allowed to cry. And let's take that up about 10 more notches. And my client had the most masculine dad, where they literally went out in the field and killed animals in order to have food. Tears were never allowed. Dancing wasn't allowed. Singing wasn't allowed. Anything that expressed the simplest bit of femininity was not allowed in the household. So a few things happen, but the main thing is that my client felt like it wasn't safe to be him. So what he did was he went out and lived an extremely masculine life as he grew up. He did extremely dangerous and masculine things. However, the thing that was missing is there was always this curiosity about the feminine energy. Now, what's really important for everybody, whether you're female or male or whether you don't identify as either or, it doesn't really matter. We are all both feminine and masculine. So if we deny any part of the feminine or the masculine within us, we're rejecting a part of ourselves. And that's exactly what happened. My client felt like it wasn't safe to be him. And this created a disconnect with not only himself, but with his family, because he really wanted to express himself, but he had no idea how to do it. This had been decades. He was almost 40 years old, so he had been living with this for decades and decades. And he was so curious about his feminine energy, he actually thought, well, is there a possibility that maybe I like men? And it was a thought that had lingered for a really long time, and he was so embarrassed that he could never share it with anybody. And I will tell you this, is that we explored all facets of this reality, and he was very much straight. But even the little slight thought of anything feminine was making him feel like he was gay because of the way that he was programmed. So he was living in his own prison for decades and decades, just with this curiosity, this wonder. And he was finally able to bring the masculine and the feminine together. He was a really good dancer when he was a child. He loved to sing. And so bringing those aspects into a safe container as an adult, allowing yourself to embrace the feminine energy as a masculine, allowing yourself to cry, allowing yourself to actually feel, is what has been suppressed from men for so long. And this is one of the reasons why the suicide rate for men is way higher than it is for women. We are not meant to suppress our emotions and our feelings. And if you are a female watching this, or a male, I invite you to open up your mind to how you look at men in their feminine energy or in their expression of their emotions. Because when they are actually in the femininity of their emotions, it is actually very healing for the man. He releases a lot of stress. He feels seen. He feels heard. And the little boy that was somewhere along the line wounded begins to heal. But men need a safe space to feel like they can express their emotions and be vulnerable in a space where they're not going to be judged. So if this is you, I invite you to start opening up your mind to vulnerability, perhaps by yourself first, allowing yourself to feel emotions, allowing yourself to cry, and allowing yourself compassion in this space, allowing yourself to actually hold yourself. And what I tell all of my male clients, and it's okay if the adult male wants to cry, but most of the time it's the little boy that really wants to just cry because he wasn't able to. And whatever story works for you, neither of them are right or wrong, but most of the time it's the little boy, because suppressed emotions over a period of time are going to build up and they're going to feel intense, versus little short bursts of cries here and there don't feel as intense because it's more normal. And it doesn't have to feel like you're so vulnerable that you're going to lose control over your crying when you start to cry, because when we suppress it for so long, that's what it is. But again, it's not about control. It's about allowing the emotion to run through you. Because if you look at this through energy, if you're holding on to something and you're holding it back and it can't express it, it creates blockages of energy in the body, and it's not healthy. So I want to just invite you into that little story to open your mind to start to be the pioneer of the masculine and the vulnerability and loving, whether you're here as a female, male, or non-identification of either. But just know that you're both. Regardless, you're both masculine and feminine. Has nothing to do with male or female. You're both masculine and feminine. So if you'd like to dive deeper into knowing more about how to get on page with your masculine and feminine, even many women out there are living primarily in their masculine, and they too are struggling with bringing the feminine in because they've had to be strong for so long. But again, this is a rejection part of you. So if you feel like you may be struggling with this and would like some guidance, I'll leave more information in the comments. Until next time, bye for now.